learn.
What I was gonna say was it reminds me of something that Maddie and I watched while we were on our honeymoon. We went to Asheville. We watched this show called Severance.
Oh, dude, that
Sean
shit
just
was
watched that.
crazy.
Did you watch it?
Yeah,
I
I watched
haven't.
the whole
Wait,
thing.
you have Apple
I finished,
TV?
yeah.
Oh, thank God. I feels like I'm gonna explain this fucking story to you guys.
Dude,
I
it's
haven't
fucking
seen
So,
it, so
crazy.
explain
The
it.
thing, long story short, I'm not gonna spoil anything.
I will say the one thing I hated about this show is the amount of walking, man. There's so much walking.
I think it was intentional.
I know that, but it was unnecessary. That show could have been in half if there wasn't as much walking.
Yeah, well, I think it was to show scale. But
Anyway.
regardless, super short synopsis. Do you know about it?
Dude, I have no idea what it is. Sean
Basically,
and Danielle
okay.
just watched it.
Long story
I don't have
short,
Apple TV.
It is. It's a premise about a company called
Lumen?
Lumen, who has developed a procedure, a surgery to split the personalities between your work life and your personal life. So as soon as you transport yourself into work, like in this case through an
You
elevator,
go activating work mode.
Yes.
You-
You can't
there's
remember
a-
anything from either.
there's a new person that comes out, and it's yourself. You are physically there, but mentally, what happens is to you, the severed person, which is what they call it, severance.
Innie and outies.
You go up the elevator, and to you, time blinks, and you're coming down. And for the innie, the person who's the work person, they come down, and as soon as time blinks, they're going right back up. So essentially, the person is in a constant state of working.
It sounds like hell.
Yes,
Yeah.
and so
So
Is
weird.
that what it's
That's-
about?
that's
Is that how,
the-
how
so
it
weird.
sucks for the
so
working
that's
person?
the conflict. But one thing that Maddie and I talked about, which really resonated with us, and like we were like up late at night talking about it for hours, was the way that they talk about Lumen and some of the members who work, some of the employees.
It's so loyal.
They talk about it as if it is a religion,
Mhm.
and what it is this. It's a mega corporation from the 1800s. Lumen was a medical. It's not real, but in the fictional universe, they had this. They like created medicine or something like that in the 1800s, and they treat these founders and their kids like essentially like royalty or demigods, and it's like it's so good because it's this like case study of mega corporation monopolies as a religion, and it's so dystopian and upsetting.
Yeah. It's
That-
I mean, it's a good show. Yeah.
It's incredible. And so when I see Elon, I'm like, I think about like, you know, he owns all this stuff, and Jeff Bezos owns all this stuff, and what
The
if
big
Jeff
gods.
Bezos decides to buy an island and he creates his own government under Amazon, and he can control the media? That's not outside the bounds of just spending $45 billion on a fucking whim. Why can't he buy an island and like create his own, you know, government and his laws, and he controls, he literally controls people because it's his own country.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
And
that's...
It's upsetting because it's like you have too much money. I know this is not profound in any way, but I'm saying like Severance really showed me like they made this beautiful like abstract like metaphor of corporations as like deities and
Yeah,
and
it was
like
really interesting.
like kings and queens.
Yeah, I mean,
and
I haven't
royalty.
seen the show, so I don't really know how they like treat the people, how you're talking about it. I get what you're saying, but
They have like wax statues, and they all quote lines from the
Yeah.
founder. They're like, and as he said, and it's like, dude, what is this fucking John 3:16?
Yeah.
It's so weird.
It's a good show. I mean, I will say, unrelated to the show, for some reason, like, does it bother you? I know Netflix does it. Every application does it. Like, you start a Netflix show and it's like Netflix original. But Apple is, I feel like, way more. Like, they want you to know.
I also feel like you just hate
Way
Apple,
more.
so you like
What,
are
they
more
put their
worried
name
about
at the
that.
front?
No, so no, it's like as soon as you turn on the app, it's like Apple TV, and then it's the Big Apple, and then it's like you click on a show and it's like only on Apple TV, and then it's the Apple, and then it's like here's only shows that are on Apple TV, and then the show starts and it's like an Apple TV original. And I was like, holy fucking shit. And I know Netflix does it, and Steve, you're 100% correct. I do just hate Apple. I just felt like way more. It felt overkill. Like I
here-
know that this is.
I think it's because they started the streaming service late in the game. Netflix was already a huge partner.
Yeah.
HBO Go was a huge partner. Hulu was huge, and they're trying to cement.
I mean, they're doing a good job. I will say that show was good. The fucking walking was annoying. The walking was annoying.
If
loved
that's your
it.
one criticism,
Dude,
then I should
everything
probably
about
watch
that
the
show I
show.
liked.
Dude,
There was nothing
I-
I didn't like.
Let me.
The first scene. Okay, I will say I hated the first scene when she's on the table.
Oh yeah, that was confusing.
That was no. It was just it. It felt like it didn't feel genuine. That's how I felt. And that was, I guess, my second complaint.
I thought she did good. Imagine
I
trying
don't-
to act that out.
I know that's definitely hard. Steve,
know
I
what I
won't say
mean?
anything, but like it just felt very like not. I don't know. It felt forced, but after that, it was fine. I was hooked.
I just love Adam Scott so much. He's the
guy
lead.
He's the guy from
Parks and Rec.
Yeah, he was really good in that.
This is a dramatic role.
Hey, film buff, dude. We need to just make another fucking podcast
Dude,
about like
it's
TV and
just-
like, it's what
if
happens.
you can
every
If you guys
watch
want
it,
to
dude,
talk,
dude,
if you guys want to talk about anime, I got
I
you.
would
but-
really
dude, I've
love
started
if you
Gundam
watched
00.
Hold on. Before we fucking go off on any more tangents, all I wanted to say was that I hear what you were saying, but I feel like it's a leap to be like Elon buying Twitter and then like your
Jeff
own government island.
Oh,
Like I
yeah,
get what
of
you're
course.
saying, but I
But that's what it
understand
makes
the
me think
idea that
of.
they could have that much power. I think what would be crazier is like what you're talking about with this show, where
I gotta go, guys. Hold on.
200 years from now,
I'm listening.
their family has all of this wealth and has accrued more wealth through whatever companies and all this stuff. And then they're like, they invent something crazy and people are like, oh, you remember when Elon shit posted this on Twitter? You know, the family goes back. That's what I
Yeah.
think. I mean, right now, he's not going to go. I mean, you could, but to get people to go live on this, all that stuff, I get what you're saying.
I know.
It's a possibility, and it just puts it into perspective.
Yeah.
Like, I thought
just
the
have so much
craziest thing was like when to bring it back to some games, when ZeniMax was bought by Microsoft, and when you saw how much they spent, and then I went and looked at like what NASA's budget was for the year. It was like 3 times. ZeniMax was worth like 3 times what NASA's budget was, like something
yeah,
stupid
it was like
like
70, and like NASA had like 20 or something.
that. Yeah, it was something like that. I was like, you got to be joking me, dude. Or it was 20 billion and 7. I don't remember a 7 in there, but either way, I just think it's crazy to put that in and into perspective, like where this money is going, how much money these people really have, and like I'm saying, 200 years from now, I mean, you know, the Musk family, the
I know.
Bezoses might have like, you know, a shit ton more than we're even talking about right now, or they could lose it all. Who knows? But
And that's why I'm saying, like, they are corporate
Yeah.
royalty.
I probably need to watch the show. I mean,
Dude, I
but
would really. I mean, do you know anyone with Apple TV Plus?
I might, but
TV Plus.
I'll see. But
It's-
either way,
it's so good. I mean, it's got this like 70s like retro
yeah, dude,
decoration.
this is funny because Sean and Danielle were watching it, and I was like, "Oh, is it good?" And they just literally didn't explain the show to me at all. And I was like, "Oh, Severance. I don't know, some businessy thing is what it looked like."
Well, so I saw.
it sounds a lot better than,
Yeah, dude, it's incredible. Honestly, like I cannot recommend. We like watched it as much as we could while we were like literally on vacation.
That's funny. I was
Um,
just trying to see, but yeah,
But yeah, I know that that's such a jump, like to have like a, but the thing is like they take these field trips in the show where like they go and look at the bust statues of the founders, and they're like, Kieran Egan said this, and they have like quotes, and whenever they talk to each other in the office, it's like they quote, it's almost like they're quoting the Bible. And I've never had that thought process of like a mega corporation having so much control over society for so long, or a portion of society, that it becomes like a theology, you know? That's like, well, he said this and he made billions of dollars and all of his kids were incredibly rich and successful and beautiful, and it's like, it's just crazy. It's just so good, dude. It's such a weird thought. But can you imagine that you go into where you work, and right when you walk in, you walk back out because you have like a.
No,
that's what
see,
it feels like.
that's-
The
I'm
NDA.
more-
That's really what it is. It's the NDA vibe.
Yeah, I'm more interested in that concept than the businesses as deities, which sounds cool, but like I feel like when I'm done with work, I need to have the personal life to decompress and not want to die from just working 9 hours a day. And I mean, not like work's all that bad, but like to not have something to go home and de-stress and all that. I feel like my work self would end his life because it sounds
Well, so that is that's a part of it. That like there's definitely attempts. I'll say that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure like it gets into that, but that just immediately when you say that, I'm like, that sounds the fun life, the outside work life sounds like that would be great. You never have to work; you're just hanging out.
Well, the crazy thing about it is like, the employees, they call them innies, the ones that are
Yeah.
actually working.
I picked that up. Yeah,
Are they notice things about themselves when they come back in that split second of time change, and then they're wearing different clothes, or they have a bruise, or
do they not know this is happening?
they know it's happening.
Okay,
They're told it's happening, and they're not all. Some of them aren't thrilled about it. Let's just say that.
yeah. I mean, I don't know, dude. This is I don't know anything about the show, so
Dude, this was just the episode of like super dark, like philosophical thoughts.
yeah.
You
This got heavy, dude. First episode back in a while. We were just let's lay all the cards out on the
It's
table.
just so heavy, dude.